where enormous profits have been made, historically the highest profits ever, probably 3 to 10 times what they have been making in the previous years. Pharma, we kind of forget about the pharmaceutical industry and the way it profited off the pandemic. Based on research, as Joe pointed out, based on research done mostly by public institutions or subsidized by governments. So the same taxpayers who had funded the research ended up paying increasingly higher rates for those same drugs. Pharma companies have raked it in beyond their wildest imagination. Then there is, of course, energy, which we know has been heavily affected. But it's not, the massive price increases that we have seen are not only related to supply shortages and the Ukraine war. They are dramatically related to profiteering. Then we have food companies. Again, raking it in. Food multinationals have never had it so good. And we are talking about a situation in which large parts of low and middle income countries' populations are actually starving today. When I say starving, they are below half of the minimum calorie requirement of the FAO. Some of these big global agribusinesses have raked in the highest profits ever in their history. Okay, so that's the third set of countries. The fourth is finance. We've forgotten about finance because, you know, we thought they stopped creating that much trouble we thought. They haven't, okay? They are creating more trouble than ever in the developing world. But financial companies are massively responsible also for a lot of the price hikes that we saw. In Paris, for example, the Paris wheat market is the benchmark for Europe, okay? In March and April, 72% of futures contracts that drove up wheat prices were done by financial companies. So entirely speculative, drove up those prices. They have come down again because they've taken their profits and moved on to the next sector to create havoc there. But while these prices have come down in the global market, they haven't come down for developing countries. The digital companies, of course, benefited hugely during the pandemic. They continue to benefit today. And once again, they continue to evade taxes today. So these 5 sectors today, I would estimate, explain about 80% of the massive profit increases that we have experienced globally. We are not regulating them. We are not taxing them. We are not preventing them from doing really terrible things, not just to people in developing countries, but to the world and to the planet. So it's extraordinary how government support of a few large companies is enabling a wild-scale increase in inequality, a massive destruction of our ecological foundations, and driving a very significant proportion of humanity into absolute starvation.